Hi everybody, this is Sainath here, working at Wipro Technologies, heading the storage practice. Myself and Ashit from Huawei would be taking you through a smart data archival system that we have gone through. Ashit, over to you.
Hey, thanks, Sai. Hi, everyone. This is Ashit Kumar, and I am lead architect with Huawei Technologies, as well as I am a maintainer of Soda Foundation projects. And yeah, today we'll talk about one of the important aspect of archival. So we all have been talking about archival. Let's talk about how we can smartly archive our data. So here is the agenda for the day. We'll talk about the introduction. We'll give you an introduction about the smart data archival. And then Sai will be taking you through the use cases, why we needed this solution and what was the actual requirements that came up, which led us to this project. Then we'll talk about the high level design, which all SODA projects are there to complement the features and how we can leverage those projects. And as you know, this is an open source project, so we can easily leverage it for a collaborative feature. And then we'll be open up for the question and answer. You can ping us, email us, or ping us on the Slack anywhere, and we'll get back to you with the answers. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so first of all, what is SDA? When we talk about archival, we have been seeing like it is a old thing that whoever is into the storage might be knowing that what exactly is archival, like tape drives. Now, even when you go to the cloud and all, right, the public cloud gives you the features. So AWS Glacier is like quite popular in that aspect, and there are multiple clouds like Azure, GCP, even all the cloud providers came up with the archival solutions. Now, why we needed this so basically the smart data archival. Now, if you see, data is the pivot, and data is like we get a humongous amount of data that is getting generated on a daily basis. Be it and even now when we are working in a like work from home or a virtualized meetings and all, right? The data that we are generating is quite a bit. Like it can be in the zettabytes and all, right? So that is the amount of data that we are generating. Now, if you see, whenever we are talking about the archival solutions, the solutions that are provided by the enterprise or some of the companies, they work in their silos. So what the purpose was that why we wanted this smart data archival solution, we wanted to like decentralize the silos. That is one of the aspect. Now, when we say data archival, definitely will come to the retrieval. So based upon your SLAs, based upon your policies that you have defined, you will have to retrieve those data. And we'll talk about that in the use cases section when we talk why we exactly need to retrieve it and archive it or store it for long term and all, right? Now, when we are archiving the data, it's like quite a very old process. Like everyone has been doing this archiving and all, but why is smart data archival? So you need to identify, you need to classify them. So when we say classify them, basically you need to say that this is my hot data, or this data I may need, even though I'm archiving, I may need it to retrieve it in a certain time period. I will need to retrieve it. So we need to classify it. Now, some of the data that when you are retrieving, you need to retrieve it in a fast way. So for a company who is archiving and retrieving the data, when they want it immediately. Consider a case of a hospital where when you have archived the data and when the patient, you need it for the patient, you need it immediately. So what you will do is that you will retrieve it in an expedited manner rather than a slow process, which may take a couple of days to bring it back to your primary storage and then give it back to you, right? So you need to classify the data, then you need to organize. When you have classified, you need to organize it. And when you have organized it, store it properly in a way which is required by the end user, which is required by the customer. So I may need to store it on my on-premise. I may have some optical disk archival storage, or I may have some tape drives. So I can archive it over there. But it may be possible that I don't want to take the total cost of ownership, the TCOs and all that we talked, right? I don't want to take that. Then what we can do is that I can move it, or I can give it to the clouds, that you store it, you manage the storage and all, right? So basically you lower your TCOs. And now when we are talking about this smart world, right? How we make it smart? It's definitely the policies that one defines, the end user defines. Obviously, there will be some of the metadata that will be involved over there. Based upon those metadata, we'll extract the information, we'll put some algorithm, be it least recently used or most frequently used, or whatever the algorithms that we put. We'll talk about that. So those type of algorithms we'll put, and we'll try to archive it in a better manner. And again, these can be a use case for different types of storage that you, or different type of computes that you use. Again, Sai will talk about the how we can make it a data archival and restore on the go, so that we can have. Okay, so moving to the next part, is it yet another solution? Do you think that it is another legacy archival solution? No. Why? Because we have made it smart. Smart means simple of management. You can manage it simply. That is how you can make it smart. Because when you talk about management, you think about the overhead that the admins will have, right? So you make it a simple management. It should not be lots of clicks and then you go. Right now, the world is fast, right? You need to have everything on the go, on the tip of your fingers, right? Now, mobility across distributed environment. So when you are talking about autonomous cars, for example, take an example. So you need, whenever you are moving from one location to another location, the data center or the access regions may be different. So you can move the data or archive the data wherever you go. It may be based upon your SLAs or based upon your policies that you have defined. You can have the mobility, and that can be on-premise or that can be a cloud environment. Anything it can be. Okay, so now it is automated. So you automate it, you define the policy and you automate it. So that is how it works. So you define the policy, you automate it, you orchestrate it, and so you define some of the catalog informations, and then you orchestrate it. Now the framework should be, when you are talking about archival, it may be a lots of data that you are doing processing on. So you need to make it robust. Tiered, we talked about how we can make it tiered, even lower TCOs, intelligent. Should be efficient. So these all are the aspects that make this solution different from the your classic archival solutions. Now we'll talk about the use cases. Over to you, Sai. Maybe you can talk about the what all the use cases that are there.
Right. Thanks, Ashit. So just continuing. So data archiving is a practice of moving data that is probably no longer used to a separate storage device for retention purposes. So a lot of data resides in primary or secondary storage before it actually gets archived. The thought here is to move the data. We are upfront aware that it would not be used and need to be preserved for future reference to an archival system than having it in high cost storage. The key would be how fast can we identify that the data can be archived and have policies set around it. So we have listed down some of the use cases here. Basically, we want to minimize the average time data resides in a high cost storage before being moved to the archival systems. So with the derived benefits being that of data preservation and aid in addressing regulatory requirements, like say GDPR compliance, long-term retention, or the I think the fourth bullet on long-term the storage optimization, especially when it comes to edge, are few of the examples. The thought process is to develop a framework within SODA to have a policy-based data movement to an archival system, saving the space on primary storage, be it on-premise, cloud, or edge. There are data archival solutions available, and our aim is to have an integrated solution within SODA that would enable movement of data to and from the archival systems, like tape libraries. We would develop the framework that would seamlessly work with SODA and capitalize on existing open source solutions wherever available. Also, be able to move the data from any of the source like edge, primary, secondary, or cloud. So that way, we are enabling the data movement with SLAs and have it available for other compliance related reasons. This is an overview of some of the aspects that we looked into or considered, and we are aware that we don't have a good ecosystem around this today, be it with having worked with Sony tape libraries or other tape libraries available in the market from an open source framework. Ashit, you can go to the next.
Thanks, Sai. And yeah, thanks, Sai. And when we talk about this collaborative solution, that is what we are making it like different solutions, because it will be a collaborative solution from different end users, companies, and all. So different perspective, different use cases will be addressed, right?
Yeah.
Thanks, Sai. So next, let's. This feature we have talked, right? The use cases, the requirements, and all. Now we have some high-level designs that we have created. We have started working on it. There are some features that is available in bits and pieces. We are trying to like make it more robust. So here is a very high-level design. How? So let's see. Like you see, there is a data. Like you have generated some of the data. User is generating the data. Now, what this SODA SDA, Smart Data Archival, will do is that it will take those data as the input. Based upon the policy catalog that the end users defines, it will put some of the intelligence, it will put the tierings, then SLAs can be defined by the end users. Those SLAs it will read, those SLAs will be the input for this SDA to act intelligently and do some metadata-based analytics. So basically, when you say the policy catalog and the SLAs will be the input for making it more intelligent, creating the tiering, and doing some analytics based upon the metadata available. So every data will come with the metadata. We'll read those metadata, and based upon that, whatever the policies has been defined, the data can be archived to on-premise, be it a tape or be it an optical disk, or any archival on-premise devices, or maybe it's your private cloud where you give the features of the like archival. It can be archived over there, or as we talked earlier, also to lower the TCO, it can be archived into the public cloud also. And there you just archive it, and based upon the SLAs defined by the cloud as well as the SLAs defined by you, it can be like retrieved. So the end user defines some, says that, okay, whenever I'm retrieving, I need it immediately. So in the cloud, it can say that, okay, I need an expedited retrieval to the cloud. So now the archive retention will be faster over there. So you leave all the storage cost to the cloud, and storage manageability to the cloud, and storage cost is based upon your cloud you have chosen and based upon the cost the cloud provides. So this is how the overall feature will be. So if you see, the data can be retrieved as well as archived, and it's all the smart whatever we are talking that comes over here in the distributed SODA SDA. And these are used for different data use cases like data analytics, classification, management, compliance, access, and mobility, whatever. Like this is a overall high level design. For more design updates, we have different GitHub repositories where we will point to you, and we welcome you to get your suggestions or feedback. Now we have talked about this archival solution. We talked about the smart data archival solution. Now there is Soda Foundation. Soda Foundation is as we say, it is an open source project under Linux Foundation, which is creating a open source data management storage software for data autonomy. We have different projects. Those projects becomes like the different blocks which can be combined together to create a holistic smart data archival solution. Those projects are multi-cloud solution. So multi-cloud project supports the S3 compatible APIs for S3 compatible API support they have for the multi-cloud data management. There we have support for direct archival or lifecycle based archival to the cold storage, be it the AWS or GCP cold or Azure cold. So there you can archive it, and based upon the SLAs, you can retrieve it. And for on-premise, we have already supported Sony ODA, which has been a collaborative approach with different companies in Soda, as well as the end user. And as you know that multi-cloud is S3 compatible, so any archival solutions like even Fujifilm, which supports the S3 compatible APIs, that can be supported easily into Soda multi-cloud. And Soda API provides the policy-based unified API layer where you can define your policies. You can work based upon those policies. There is a controller project also, which is nothing but a metadata management. So we have been talking about the metadata. Through the metadata data analytics, we will provide this smart data solutions. So that is where the controller project comes into picture. Then we have for heterogeneous object storage, heterogeneous on-premise storage, as well as the object storage, we have different projects like Dock and Delphin. So which is nothing but a storage management and the storage monitoring projects. And as we say that we need to make it automated, we need some of the orchestration. So for that, we have already the orchestration project where there are different orchestration engines you can support. So it is a plug and play orchestration engine support where you can, which will define your catalog based orchestration and automation. And with all these projects into picture, and with some of the new solutions coming, we can create a solution to classify intelligently the data being generated on edge, cloud, or on-premise, and archive and retrieve them. So this is about the Soda Foundation project and how we are heading it towards a collaborative approach. Okay, so over to you, Sai. Maybe you can.
Yeah, thanks, Harshit. And yeah, this page we have given all the links to where you can find more details, the link for the Soda Foundation, and our email IDs for you to contact us, and our GitHub access, where you can access the details. Please get back to us with your suggestions, thoughts, and even contributions. We would more than welcome. Thank you for your time.
Hey, thanks a lot, Sai, and thanks everyone for listening to this. And we invite you all to come, give your suggestions, give your inputs, develop, collaborate in a collaborative approach. And you can reach out to us on any of the things like Slack and all. And we'll definitely love to get feedback from you, get some contribution from you. Thanks. Thanks a lot. Yeah. And for question and answers, you can reach out on the Slack. And please do take a moment to rate this session. That will really encourage, and also your feedback will be important for us. Thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a nice time.